Spanish has always been admired for being an elegant, ethical, or philosophical language, but also absolutely devastating when it wants to insult. But be careful, because here we're not talking about vulgar insults from any street corner, but about true linguistic masterpieces from the past. Words that appear in ancient texts, historical dictionaries, literary works, and studies about insults in the Middle Ages and the Golden Age. For centuries, insulting someone wasn't just about saying a bad word. In many cases, it meant attacking a person's honor, reputation, morality, or even social standing. Next, we bring you 10 creative insults from Old Spanish, some of which still survive, while others seem to have been left behind in the past. Number 1. Belyaco. We start with a word that still sounds powerful. Belyaco. In Old Spanish, Belyaco could refer to a mean, cunning, deceitful person, or someone of bad character. It wasn't just any insult. Whoever received it was marked as someone capable of deceiving, betraying, or committing an act far more serious than what was acceptable. In works from the Golden Age, words like this were used to point out the character who acted outside the rules of honor. Number 2. Sandio. Sandio is an almost forgotten gem. It meant foolish, simple, or lacking understanding. It's one of those insults that doesn't need to be shouted, because its strength lies in its elegance. Calling someone Sandio nowadays would probably cause more confusion than anger, and that's exactly where its charm lies. It has a medieval flavor, as if it came from an indignant scribe or a swashbuckling character. Its possible use today would be perfect for an exaggerated academic discussion. Only a Sandio would open 10 browser tabs and forget which one was important. Number 3. Follón. Although today in many countries Follón is used to talk about a mess, disorder, or problem, in Old Spanish it could also be used as a personal insult. It was used to refer to someone who was vile, lazy, cowardly, or of little worth. In other words, it wasn't just about disorder, but about how untrustworthy a person was. Today we could use it like this, with a connotation not as serious as in the past. This 20-paragraph email is a real administrative Follón. Number 4. Mentecato. Mentecato is one of the richest insults in Spanish. It comes from the idea of having a mind that's trapped, limited, or not fully alert. In simple terms, it was an elegant way to call someone stupid, but with more literary force. The advantage of Mentecato is that it doesn't sound vulgar, but almost serpentine. Nowadays, it could be used in a not-so-aggressive tone. I was a fool. I saved the file in the wrong folder and then blamed the computer. Number 5. Safio is a word that still exists, but it's not used as much as it deserves. It refers to a rude, rough, vulgar person or someone lacking in manners. In ancient times, insults like this not only attacked a person's behavior, but also their education, manners, and social standing. Being Safio was not simply being careless. It was about not behaving with the expected refinement. Today, it is still very useful for describing inelegant behavior, arriving late, interrupting everyone, and on top of that, complaining about the coffee. Safio behavior in all its glory. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell to remind you when there's a new video. Number 6. Casnápiro. Casnápiro is one of those words that sound like they were made up for a comedy. It's used to refer to a clumsy, simple, dazed person, or someone who just stares without really understanding what's going on. The sound of the word is already part of the effect, like someone who walks into a room and doesn't know why they came in. Nowadays, it could work. It could work really well as a joke. I stared at the screen like a Casnápiro, waiting for the program to work its magic on its own. Number 7. Malsín is an old word used to refer to a snitch, an informer, someone who causes discord with their words, or, as they say in Colombia, a sapo. In societies where honor and reputation were essential, this kind of figure was especially dishonorable. The Malsín didn't always attack directly. Sometimes he would insult or sow doubts. That's why this insult had an interesting social depth. It didn't accuse someone of clumsiness, but rather of verbal malice. In modern usage, we could say, "Don't be a Malsín. That gossip doesn't have verified sources yet." Number 8. Pécora. Pécora comes from the Latin Pécora, related to livestock. But in Spanish, it ended up being used in expressions like mala pécora to refer to a cunning, harmful, or ill-intentioned person. In ancient texts and traditional usage, calling someone mala pécora meant portraying them as someone untrustworthy, calculating, or malicious. Number 9. Villain. Now let's look at an example that shows us the opposite. Before, it lacked a negative meaning, and now it has acquired a wicked connotation. Today we associate villain with the bad guy in a movie, with someone wicked and twisted. But its history is much more complex. Originally, it was related to the inhabitant of the village, or a villager, and over time it acquired the meaning of an evil person, unworthy or of low moral standing. Many words that started out designating origin or position ended up becoming insults. Nowadays, villain works very well because it already belongs to the language of cinema and popular culture. The real villain of this story was the protagonist's father. Number 10. Scoundrel. We end with a word that today might sound almost endearing, as if we were talking about a mischievous rascal or someone who cheated a little without it seeming too serious. But in Old Spanish, Malandrín had a much darker meaning. It wasn't just some prankster friend or the slick one in the story. Its origin is related to the Italian malandrino, which meant highwayman, that is, someone associated with theft, dangerous roads, violence, and bad intentions. That's why calling someone a malandrín in the past could have been a much more serious accusation than it is today. It was directly associating them with the criminal world. It wasn't a mild insult. It was a way of saying that person was not only annoying, but dangerous, untrustworthy, and socially despicable. Number 11. Old insults were not just words thrown around at random. They were little social weapons, thrown to destroy a person's reputation and image in times when words were worth more than dignity. Some attacked intelligence, others behavior, others manners, and others reputation. Today, fortunately, we can look at these words with linguistic and literary curiosity without needing to turn them into real attacks. And you, which of these old insults did you find the most creative? Would you use any of them in a conversation today? Leave us your opinion in the comments. And that's all for today. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to this channel. I also encourage you to turn on the notification bell so you'll know when there's a new video. See you soon.